Greetings. Just a quick thought. First, just popped in my head. Wondered, how do we leverage, how do we get these Democrats, these never Trumpers, how do we get this reaction where they're saying that they're concerned about individual rights and individual protections, where they're saying they're concerned about executive overreach, where they're saying they're concerned about careful, considered review of policies and laws, where they're saying that they support the individual's right to decide. When they're saying these things now, because that's all that's left to them when Donald Trump is president, the Republicans control the Senate and the House, control Congress, and that the Supreme Court has more consistently shown that it will see things for on a constitutional basis and not activist basis. So they're using the things that are left. How do we get them to actually feel it? That those things that are left are the basis. Individual rights, individual liberties, guaranteed, described affirmatively in the Constitution of the United States, specifically in the Bill of Rights, where we declare that people have a right to freedom of religion. Right, freedom, same, different words, mean the same thing. Freedom of religion, freedom of assembly, freedom of the oppressor. We have these rights, not because they're in the Constitution, but because we have them and they are declared in the Constitution. How do we get these Democrats and never Trumpers to actually come back to remembering that? They used to remember it. They used to understand it. They used to understand it when government was actively suppressing and oppressing Black people, specifically in with laws and de facto support of segregation and discrimination through banking and through school districting and the various ways of redlining, of limiting individual people, Americans, their rights, their possibilities based on skin or race or whatever. They understood that the bastion, the fundamental foundation was the individual rights, liberties, and freedoms. Today, these are Democrats and never Trumpers who only seem to care about their politics. Is there a way for us to use this? Hey, President Trump and his team and the Republicans in Congress, House and Senate are doing things, creating things, passing laws. Is there a way to get the Democrats to stop being only partisan for their own personal political gain and actually say, this is an infringement on the rights of individuals? This is actually a good step. I know there's no way for them to do that. I know there's no way for them to acknowledge anything good. But imagining in the imagination world, this is a good step. But we need to have this protection in there. We need to have this review. We need to have this counterbalance. Is there a way to get the Democrats and the never Trumpers to actually come back to being foundationally, fundamentally American in how they recognized that the structures of government are not about oppression, not about control, but are about protection of the individual? as I said in the last one, it's a crazy thought. The first time in 4 years, thinking, well, how do we make this better? First time in 4 years, how do we make this better? How do we get those who have lost all concept of that, all recollection of that, all understanding of that, to come back to recognizing, hey, if we start from the individual and the individual's protection against the oppression and the suppression and the overwhelming weight of government and society and the majority, if we get back to that, we can have people in different political parties who have a different range of thinking about particular issues still respect that. Hope springs eternal. Why? In this case, because enough Americans did not succumb to the fear mongering and the lies and the distortions and the misrepresentations of the Democrats, the mainstream, the liberal legacy media. Is there a way to use that? To rebuild, shuffle that, to go, okay, but you know, individual rights, liberties, and freedoms is for you. It's not just it's for you to benefit. Hey, what a concept. Let's spread that concept. Son of Liberty 2020, mliberty 2020 gmail.com. Comment, share, pass it along. Let's increase the discussion of a discussion, not just vitriol. See you next time.